It'll blow people away in villages. When a tornado approaches a church, it doesn't go over that church. It goes right through it.
Sure.
So there seems to be no purpose in nature. It seems that every fish is eating every other fish. If you want to say there's harmony in nature, what do you mean by harmony? Anything that happens?
Right.
So I say that if there's harmony in nature, animals wouldn't be tearing other animals apart for food. They'd be converting the sun's radiant energy into flesh rather than killing other animals. In other words, man projects his own simple values continuously in our school books. They give you the purpose of this and the purpose of that, and they don't show you the counter things. In other words, nature's wonderful. I love nature. Well, rattlesnakes are part of nature. Constrictors crush animals. That's part of nature. Floods are part of nature. Why don't you look at the whole picture and say nature is both constructive and destructive?
Yeah.
And
That would be the honest statement.
if there was purpose, then there'd be something up there manipulating it for a certain reason. And even if you looked at people in that regard, what's the purpose of people? To create disaster and suffering and torture and for greedy reasons, and environmental deprivation and destroying the environment. You have to put it on everything if you're looking for purpose.
Yeah. Lots of words in the language that really have no operant whatsoever.
Our language developed hundreds of years ago. That makes it impossible to talk to people. So we talk at people.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what that means. It means when a person says to you, have a nice weekend, why don't they say, have a nice life? Why just a nice weekend? That's what I mean. We don't know what we're talking about.
Right. You say communication is impossible, essentially, based on the definition of communication, correct?
Unless you define what you mean by communication.
Sure.
We don't study semantics in school, which should be a common subject in the future throughout the world. We have to update our language so it fits the world of reality, not the projected world of artificiality. Our world today does use some aspects of science and technology, but the schools today, our universities, are better equipped than they've ever been, and the wars are getting worse. Is man really civilized? I say not yet. We are not civilized yet, and we never will be, because being civilized is an ongoing process. We learn new things every year, nor is there such a thing as intelligent people. We have a certain range of knowledge at a certain time. The more you study the subject, the wider the range. But the word intelligence would have little or no meaning in the future, because I pointed out many times an intelligent chemist of 75 years ago couldn't get a job today. So what do you mean by intelligent?
And one more thing to toss in there while we utilize these words, harmony and purpose. You made a point regarding homeostasis, I believe is the word.
Yes.
And this is a notion of balance.
Walter B. Cannon presented the concept of homeostasis, that the body seeks equilibrium. Every phase that the body is in equilibrium. There's no such thing as seeking equilibrium. The body reacts to high temperatures, you begin to sweat. If it gets cold, you burn more fat. So it isn't homeostasis that the body seeks. The body reacts to external conditions. Of course, we're not educated to that in our schools. We're educated to values that have been long obsolete and never proven to work.
Yes.
That's true, that idea of homeostasis in society, too. As long as you have few nations controlling most of the Earth's resources, then you're going to have laws to protect those nations to maintain those resources. So it works through the environment as well.
Absolutely. There's always a push and pull, and it's interesting how people tend to find, there's a classical assumption to want to find some balance, some, final balance, if you will.
Or utopian thinking.
Yeah, so that's a good word, too, to bring
It
up.
can't be utopia, because nothing can be designed as final. No one can design a laptop and say, that's it. It always will change and grow. You can't design the ideal society and say, this is it. It will always grow and change. And that's a history of civilization, growth and change. So what we're interested in is really making the best with what we have today, but never saying this is it.
Yes, absolutely.